my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today I'm going to talk about 19 books that have been on my TBR for way too long. One of my goals for this year is to read 5 books that have been on my TBR before 2020. So I have 19 books. And as part of my Christian fiction reading challenge, one of the prompts is a TBR vet. So one of these books that fits in the Christian fiction category, which is majority of them, so 16 out of the 19 would fall in the Christian fiction category. So let's just start with the 3 that are not Christian fiction and the 3 that I actually don't know when they got put on my TBR, other than the fact that I don't have a date next to them on my TBR spreadsheet means that I have purchased them before 2015. Yeah, they've been on my TBR for probably 10 years, maybe more, because I don't know exactly when I got them. And those books are The Importance of Being Earnest and 4 Other Plays by Oscar Wilde. I remember being at Chapters before it became Indigo in Canada, and with one of my really good friends, and she said, "That's a really good book. Have you ever read it?" I'm like, "No." So I picked it up and I still haven't read it, and she still asked me if I've read it yet. So maybe this is one I really should read this year. It looks chunky, but even if I only read The Importance of Being Earnest in here, which is not that long. So, wow. 93 pages is The Importance of Being Earnest. Why have I been putting it off? I think because it looks like such a chunky book. But this is the 4 Other Plays. Okay, so there's book 1. Book 2 is Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Again, I blame the same friend. I picked it up at the exact same time. And yeah, I have not read it. I actually really have no desire to read it. I've never read Charles Dickens. I also own A Christmas Carol, but I haven't read it. It's newer, though. I got it in the last couple years. And I don't really know anything about this. In an overgrown churchyard, a grizzled convict springs upon an orphan boy named Pip. The convict terrifies Pip and threatens to kill him unless Pip helps further his escape. Yeah, I know nothing. And I know that this is actually like the chunky that it is. Okay, and then we have Death on the Nile. I can't even say the title right. Death on the Nile by Agatha Christie. And I have read a few Agatha Christie's, just not this one. Someday. Okay, so those are the 3 classics not in the Christian fiction genre. Okay, now I'm going to go. I have my list of the rest of the books. And 2015, the only book still left on my TBR from 2015 is To Save Her Child by Margaret Daley. I think that's how you say her name. This is a love-inspired suspense book. I actually don't know when it came out. Let me look it up on Goodreads. It is on my Kindle. A lot of these books are on my Kindle, which is another reason probably why I haven't really read them, because I don't see them in my face. So I do have these little Kindle cards that I printed off last year, I think it was. So not all my Kindle books are on these now because I've purchased more since, but yeah. I mean, it has a really good rating, 4.38. In Search of Her Son, when a young boy goes missing from Wilderness Day Camp, Alaskan search and rescue worker Josiah Witherspoon is on the case. A brooding ex-Marine promises to find the child and return him to his worried mother. It's set in Alaska. Probably why I haven't reached for it. But that is the next book. Okay, then we have Petticoat Detective. Full cover will be up here. This is by Margaret Brownley. Again, I don't know how to say the name. This one was recommended to me by somebody who wrote book reviews, like blogs that I followed back in the time. This was purchased in 2016. Now, most likely a lot of these Kindle ones I probably got on a free Stuff Your Kindle day or something like that. But still, if I haven't read them yet, am I still interested in them or what? I don't know. So, Pinkerton detective Jennifer Lane is no stranger to undercover work. Ooh, a female Pinkerton detective. But posing as a lady companion named Amy at Miss Lillian's parlor house and boots is a first for her. She's finally landed a high-profile case and is on the trail of the notorious Gunnysack bandit when one of Miss Lillian's girls essential to her investigation meets an untimely demise. That one actually does sound interesting. I just need to remind myself of them. We have 2 Lynette Eason books, and they are Protecting Her Daughter and Rodeo Rescuer, which are both a love-inspired suspense. And at this point in time, back in 2016, I was devouring love-inspired suspense books. I love them. Lynette Eason was one of my favorite authors. She still is one of my favorite authors. I just haven't read these 2. Someday I will, because I would like to read Lynette Eason 2.0. She's one of the authors on my list. Okay, then we have 2017, and I have a physical copy. This is Love Finds You in Miracle, Kentucky by Andrea Boeshaur, and this is one of the books that is on my 25 and 25 that my husband picked for me to read. And so yes, I will be reading this one for sure this year. I don't really know a lot about it. It's set in Kentucky. It's a romance. Anything can happen when you live in a place called Miracle. Meg wants a fresh start, miles away from the city and failed relationship. She takes a teaching position in the tiny town of Miracle, Kentucky, and vows to steer clear of smooth-talking men. Before long, Meg is smitten, but it's 8-year-old Cammie Bayer who wins her heart. The young girl has spent much of her life in a wheelchair, but firmly believes that God will heal her someday. Okay. Then we have more Kindle books, and the next one is also one my husband picked for my 25 and 25, and that is Good Enough for a Princess by Carol Moncado. I always have problems with her name. I don't know why. This is book 1 of a fairly long series, actually. And the cover has been redone since I purchased this one, and it's a much prettier cover than the one that I have on my Kindle version. But the story is the same. And other than it being a romance and with royalty storyline, I know nothing else about it. Then we have 2 by Carolyn Miller. This is The Captivating Lady Charlotte and The Elusive Miss Ellison. This is book 1 and book 2 of a Regency series. Let me see if I can find information. Oh, that's what it's called. Regency Brides, A Legacy of Grace. So, Lady Charlotte is book 2 and Miss Ellison is book 1. I thought it was the other way around. But I've read Carolyn Miller's contemporary romance books, and I did enjoy them, so historical, maybe, hopefully. Okay, then we have a bunch of novellas. So, was I on a novella kick when I picked these up? I don't know. I haven't read them, probably because they're novellas. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So we have Cold Terror by Susan Sleeman. We have Crossfire by Susan May Warren. We have Deadly Secrets by Margaret Daley. We have Double Exposure by Elizabeth Goddard. Once a Thief by Jan Thompson. And Taken by Dark by Christy Barritt. All I know is they are all suspense related. I'm pretty sure they're all suspense, romance, and they're all novellas. And I have read most of these authors, something by them before. I think probably all of them, I think. They all, maybe Margaret Daley, I'm not sure about. Isn't she one that I had? One of my first books was by her? Yes. So I don't know if I've actually read her before or not. But there's the next 6, did I say? Okay, then we have another physical book. That is Murder on the Moor by Juliana Deering. This is book number 5 of the Drew Farthering Mysteries series. So this apparently is the first book in the series that I picked up. So I haven't, when I found out that it's book number 5, it makes sense that I haven't read it because I didn't own the other books in the series. I have now read book 1 and 2. And is this one? No, I think book number 3 is the one that's on my 25 and 25. So eventually I will make my way through the series to this book, but I can't guarantee it will be read this year. Okay, and then the last book I have is also on my Kindle, and that is I'll Be There by Susan May Warren. This is another novella, so 7 novellas, not even counting the love-inspired suspense ones, which really are novellas as well. So those are the 19 books that I purchased sometime before 2020 that I really should get read or just take off my TBR because apparently I am not all that interested in them or I have forgotten about them. If you have read any of these books, please let me know which ones I should move up on the list to read, or if I should just kind of pass on some of them, tell me that as well. And the 2 that will for sure be read this year if I want to complete my bingo board is Miracle in Kentucky and Good Enough for a Princess by Carol Moncado. So that is today's video, just talking about the books that have been on my TBR for way too long that I need to look at getting read. Or what is the book that has been on your TBR the longest and how long has it been on the TBR? I would love to chat in the comments below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video today and I hope you have a great day. Bye.